Hey y'all, how y'all doing? What's up? What's up? So let's get into Kenya's confessionals. Now I'm here for that title. I really am. I'm here for that title. I'm looking forward to more of her confessionals. I don't really think we're gonna get that many more, y'all. Just be for real. But if she does and she does some more, that would be nice. She could come out and tell us about her spa. She could tell us about different things that she's involved in or working on. Give us a little background, a little background what some of the other ladies got going on. I mean, she could do kind of like a Candy's speak on it and have some of the other housewives, stop in and talk about what they got going on or their opinions on certain things that's going on their franchises. So anyway, let's talk about the things she was confessing. Okay, let's get into that. Let's get right on into that. So here we have, I'm going to put up a couple of the outlines so y'all know what we're going to talk about, and you can decide for yourself if you want to tune in and if you want to go ahead and start commenting on some of the things we're going to talk about while we're talking about it. Okay. So the first thing Kenya gets into highlight is Brit over-promising and under-delivering. Or did she deliver? Did Brit deliver on causing drama and mess on Roa? Did she deliver on that? I think she did deliver on it. I don't know if Brit is capable of continuing to deliver on Roa, but we shall see. The next thing Kenya talks about in her confessionals is she wants people to stop leaving fake bad reviews about her hair spa, child. We're going to get into that. Also, that is funny. The next thing is Brit's actual words that she said concerning the thing that she said she had in her purse. Kenya gets into her actual verbiage, and Kenya gets into what she did after hearing Brit making those claims. Kenya also talks about Bravo trying to erase her. Yeah, we're going to get into that too. And there was some juicy things that she got into about that, and we're going to get into that as well. And then, we're just going to get into those things. I'm going to give you my overall opinion on what's going on with the Roa franchise and what Bravo is actually trying to do. All right, so with the first thing, Brit over-promising and under-delivering. So Kenya says that she thinks that Brit came in hot and heavy, which I told you all I felt that way about her and Kelly. They both came in as we BFF girls. We coming in. We about to show up and show out. We going to make our names known, secure us a position here on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I don't know, y'all. It's feeling very Basketball Wives, and I don't mess with Basketball Wives. I do not like Basketball Wives. I stopped watching them. I watched them for many years, and I stopped watching them when Shawnee and Evelyn kept being the team up mean girls, and everything applied and was wrong with everybody else except for them too. That was annoying. I got tired of watching. I couldn't watch it no more. So yeah, I don't watch them. So with Kelly and Brit coming in, and they're very much giving that Basketball Wives energy. I don't know. Kelly seems like she might be okay. She might be just a little bit something extra that we can kind of get. I don't know. Y'all. I don't know about Kelly and Brit. I don't know. I ain't 100% sold on either one of them at this point. But Kenya believes that Brit came in and she feels like that she probably was talking to the producers and other people, telling yeah, I don't mind being the villain. I'm going to come for Kenya. I'm going to come for the big doll. This and that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, which we could all see that was pretty evident. Because even Kenya said, she was like, I was just asking about the ring because I seen she had this ring on, but she didn't have a band with it. So I'm thinking she's engaged. That's her engagement ring. But then she says she's married, and she says it's a second ring. So I'm like, so you had a ring for the ring? And she was like, I wasn't being shady. You know how Kenya jokes around. Kenya wasn't really being intentionally being mean shady. She was being shady, but I don't think Kenya meant any actual harm with it. She was just asking questions, but also kind of gassing the girl a little bit as well. So, but I think Brit she did too much. She dug in too deep on that. It seriously was not that deep. Because I would be confused too. Like, oh, hey, that's what Kenya said. Like, I don't know you. I don't know nothing about you. Like, I'm like, hi, how are you? What's going on? You're married, you're engaged. Like, what's the deal? She's like, I don't know her like that. So I was literally asking a legitimate question. And anybody would ask that, you got a wedding ring on, but there's no band with it. Usually you have a band with your ring. Once you get married, you add the band to whatever your engagement ring was. Or sometimes you upgrade the entire set, but you typically have a set. So so she was just asking the question, like, okay, like what's going on with that? And I feel like Britt took that and ran. She was like, oh, this is my moment. This is the end for me to have beef with somebody, and especially Kenya. Let's just do this, And it was unnecessary. I feel like Kelly did the same thing with Portia. She was trying to stir up a whole thing with Portia, but Portia did that shit where Portia's like, girl, been there, done that. Try again. So she put out all Kelly's steam on trying to come towards her. So, but yeah, Britt was doing the most. And we'll get into that later when Kenya talks about Britney's actions and how it would pan out in other situations on other franchises. So second thing, the next topic. It was a little bit of hypocritical for Kenya to say this, but she says, stop leaving fake bad reviews about her hair spa, because why would you try and destroy someone's business? She was like, don't try to destroy my business. You can just not come. You can just not show up. But I'm like, Kenya, didn't you try to do that with that girl's business? Because you pulled out all them pictures talking about how she was a fraud. You pulling out pictures of her doing crazy stuff that definitely harms someone's professional image out here. So you were trying to hurt her. You may have thought that as your first thought to hurt her bag, but you definitely did not care if her bag was going to get hurt by what you put out there. And I know we got Kenya stans and we got people who are anti-Kenya stans that supporting Brit. I ain't got no dog in the fight. I'm just talking about what happened. So, And if it had to come down to, I'll be more on Kenya's side, because I've seen how Kenya moved over the years, and I know I kind of have an idea when she's being full of it and when she's actually being sincere. So you can miss me with that. Look, team twirl, back up. But yeah, so I'm like, Kenya, you stop doing the same thing. But she said, y'all leaving fake reviews. And she's like, that's like destroying my business. You don't even come in here. And, I'm doing my best to keep this spa going. I just opened this spa. It cost me a lot of money, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And she said that Kenya says that she feels like the main reason why her spa is not doing as well is because she doesn't have a strong team behind her. She says that what she really envies about Candy is Candy has a really good team around her. Candy is like pretty much invincible because of her team that she has with her. And it's like, yeah, I could definitely see that. I can definitely see that being a strong point. And I really would love that for Kenya. I think Kenya could do way better if she had a good, solid team. And I don't really know the reasons why Kenya has not been able to secure a good, solid team. Or even it seems like Kenya, it seems like Kenya struggles when it comes to personal relationships. I don't think she's terrible with business relationships, but, I think there's a little bit of a breakdown when it comes to Kenya and relationships with other people. I don't know what the breakdown is or what the issue is. Maybe she has a lot of trust issues. Maybe she's not great. I can't say not a great communicator. I could definitely see Kenya being an amazing communicator. She gonna tell you what she wants. But I don't know. It's kind of weird that she doesn't have a strong team behind her after all these years. That's a good question. But the next thing Kenya gets into, Kenya talks about what Britt actually said verbatim and the steps that she took after Britt said what she said. Now, Kenya said that Britt said this explicitly. Britt said verbatim, "That's why I keep a pistol for bees like you." Now, Kenya said that production edited that out. And Kenya says that she took what Britt said seriously. She brought it to production. She even went to the police about it. And pretty much it sounds like nothing was done. And then another thing that Kenya does, she shows clips of Britt saying on someone else's podcast that, and this was probably previously before she filmed with Roa, but she said there was a clip of Britt saying, yeah, when I go here and there, I always have my thing on me. I always have. And she said it more than once. I always have my thing on me. So for her to turn around and show up to production, say to the producers that, I didn't really have nothing on me. I didn't really have nothing on me. And then she said something about there was an investigation done. And I'm like, I don't think there was. Kenya even said there wasn't no damn investigation done. Don't nobody know what that girl had in her purse nor in her car. She said production never searches nobody's purses or cars when they show up on set. And I'm like, shoot, now y'all might have to, because y'all bringing in basketball wives energy. Y'all might have to start searching people, doing a little shakedown before people show up to film. So let's get into the next thing that Kenya discusses, and this is where we're going to get a little to more of the meat of things. Kenya talks about Bravo trying to completely erase her and the double standard and the mistreatment that she feels like she's gotten thus far dealing with Bravo. Kenya says she feels like they are, kind of like treating her like the black sheep. And it's like, why y'all trying to completely erase me? You give me no intro, you give me no confessionals, and no reunion. Now, this was an interesting thing she said. She said she was invited to the reunion and then all of a sudden disinvited. And I don't like that, because I feel like she brings this up as well, if you all give Britt the opportunity to apologize and say her piece, I do feel like at some point you should allow Kenya to do the same. You could have at least allowed her a freaking confessional. If y'all felt like it was a lawsuit and she couldn't be nowhere near Britt because of the incident, which I don't see how Kenya cannot be allowed to be around Britt because she showed public pictures of her in an inconvenient type of way. How is Kenya not able to be around Britt when all Kenya did was show pictures of her in an intimate way to everyone? Pictures that was, I know everyone, I will say according to Kenya, but has been said that those pictures were available online. Now, Britt thought she had scrubbed all that stuff, but obviously she didn't scrub everything. They always say when you put stuff out on the internet, somebody else is going to be able to pull it up. And so Britt thought she scrubbed all that stuff, but Kenya was able to retrieve it. And it was public on the internet. That's why Kenya said she researched it before she put it out there. She said she went and asked questions about whether or not she would get in trouble for it. And it's basically like, no, that's not considered revenge P if it's already online and it's already public. So she's like, I knew I wasn't going to get like any type of legal trouble, but I guess she got into some trouble with Bravo. We don't know exactly what type because it has not been revealed yet. But supposedly Britt threatened to sue Bravo and Kenya or whatever, but I don't think it went through because I don't think there was nothing to actually sue. So anyway, we'll find out. But so she said, basically what I'm saying is, why is it Kenya can't be around Britt when it was actually Britt who threatened physical harm to Kenya? It wasn't the other way around. So I'm like, if Britt can still be on the show after threatened physical harm to another cast member with, a weapon, why can't Kenya be around other cast members and Britt, especially since Kenya has a track record? You all know Kenya. Kenya been on the show, 13 years, I think she said. Kenya been on that show for 13 years and she ain't physically harmed anybody. But y'all just met this chick, Britt. And she walk around talking like, in my opinion, the girl be walking around like she took a little something in the bathroom before she come out to film. Sorry, that's my opinion. It is allegedly, it is my opinion. And so I would be more uncomfortable around her than I would be uncomfortable around Kenya, especially if I've been around Kenya 13 years and I just met this girl and she'd be acting like she not all the way there with it most of the time. So, yeah, I don't understand that. Like, you could at least gave Kenya a freaking confessional. So anyway, that's my opinion on that. And then Kenya goes into more, she talks about how she feels like she's repeatedly being treated like the black sheep on Bravo. She discusses how, you know, if Britt was to say that mess on another one of these franchises, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of New Jersey, if she has threatened some stuff like that to one of those cast members, would she still be on the show? My opinion is she probably wouldn't. I got a good feeling she would not, especially with her black ass. Okay? Like, she would not be there no more. Gone. Bye-bye. She be the one without no confessional. She be the one not showing up to the reunion. Okay? She would be the one definitely not in the intro. So, that is a little questionable. How is it that she's still prancing around here just like a full cast member after doing all that? Some people may disagree and say it ain't that bad. Whatever. I got a different opinion on that. Like, that's a good point. Why she's still walking around? If it was another franchise, would they be allowed? So I have to agree with Kenya on many of her points. I really do. Now, some people say, well, you know, Kenya, she was doing all this crazy stuff to other people and blah, blah, blah. And then they brought the time that she had shown that she had a GUN in her, somewhere in her house or whatever. And she said something about, do I need to bring this on the show with me for Phaedra? But Kenya made a good point. She said Phaedra was nowhere around when I made that comment. And I never took it onto set or nothing with me. So, like, it's not the same. She said, y'all comparing apples to oranges. And I would say at first glance, you'd be like, oh, yeah, she was wrong, too. But then you think about it, yeah, she did not say it to that girl. So she did not directly threaten her. Now, and then you just say, will I need this for, you know what I mean? I don't know, you know, my strong opinion is not the same thing, but I can see how other people argue the opposite or argue that it is the same thing. I can see it. So back down. I can see how other people could argue that is the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing because you did not say it in the person's face, nor did you have it with you at the time. This girl threatened it, and from what it appears is that that's something she actually does have on her. All the time, from her words herself. She said this herself. So, I don't know, y'all. This is my opinion. I think the producers are so quick to give Kenya the boot is because they are trying to they're trying to downsize the age on this show. So I think people like Kenya and Cynthia, they are trying to, but then they bring back Phaedra. That's interesting. I think Phaedra was like a haphazard, quick draw, thinking like, oh, we don't know if this show's going to make it without another one of the OGs, so they just grabbed Phaedra. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they had to finish out a contract with Phaedra and they just threw her on roll to finish out a contract with her. I don't know. But I honestly do believe that they're trying to make this show, the audience and stuff, younger for Roa, which is fine. But you need people on there that got a little bit of substance. Right now, I'm not feeling substance coming from Britt. We know Drew ain't delivering. Drew ain't been delivering ever since she been on there. So we don't need Drew. I personally feel like we don't need Britt. I'm here for Angela. Kelly can stay. Portia, if she gets her head together, she's going through a divorce. We're going to give her a little time. We're going to give her a little grace. If she gets her head together, She can stay. I'm definitely feeling Shamia. I'm definitely liking Angela. Really, if you had to just keep 3 people on there and then circle out the other people, I would say keep Shamia for sure, keep Angela, and keep Portia. And then circle in. I honestly, I do think they need to bring back Kenya, because Kenya can hang with the girls. Kenya can hang with the older ones. Kenya can hang with the younger ones. I definitely think Kenya is a key person, an anchor in that show. I think that they brought back Portia thinking she was going to be a good anchor, but y'all, I feel like they could switch out Portia for Kenya and have better results. And now, honestly, previously, maybe like last year, I would have thought in the absolute reverse. I would have thought, nah, you don't need Kenya, bring on Portia. But I don't know. I've seen a lot lately with Portia where she wants to control the narrative a lot, and I don't like that. I don't like when people are on shows and they're trying to control the narrative. I don't like that at all. I feel like if we're going to keep things interesting, we need you not to try to be the one person producing the entire show. No, ma'am. Go have a seat. So I think like Portia tries to do that too much, and I don't like that. So I wouldn't mind trading out Portia for Kenya. Kenya does do a lot of producing, but I don't know why it's just a little bit more interesting when Kenya produces. And Kenya been producing, but it's just more interesting. So, I don't know. Would that make me a hypocrite then? That literally just makes me a hypocrite, because if I don't like people producing the show, I don't know. I didn't like it when Kenya. That's why I used to didn't like Kenya. Thinking about it, for real. That's why I didn't used to like Kenya, because Kenya used to try to control the narrative concerning Nene. She used to try to control the narrative concerning Portia, and I did not like that. And I could not stand Kenya because of that. But I don't know. Maybe just Portia just ain't delivering. Maybe it's just Portia ain't delivering right now, and it just seems like Kenya's delivering. And I'd rather have, at this junction, I just feel like Kenya fits better for some reason. Anyway, we'll see, y'all. We're going to see. This is pretty much halfway through the season. So we got some more episodes to go to see how these girls actually line up. We're going to see what Phaedra's going to be bringing. What do y'all think Phaedra's going to be bringing? Because I don't know, like, where she just going to hop in as a friend of all. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But anyway, what do y'all opinion about Britt getting the opportunity to apologize and show up and make amends, kind of tell her side of the story, and Kenya not being allowed to do so? What do y'all think of that? Let me know down in the comment section, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Ugh.